All right. Am I still focused?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Cooking Without Looking TV show. I'm your host, Alan Preston. Today, we have a special guest who came to America from Cambodia when she was just 7 years old. She'll prepare her Cambodian egg roll. And with that, everyone, you're in the kitchen today with our Looking TV show. I'm your host, Alan Preston. Today, we have a special guest who came to America from Cambodia when she was just 7 years old. And you're going to prepare something. She'll prepare her Cambodian dishes. Or Chowder right in the kitchen today.
Yes, I'm sorry, my phone just went out. It was just ringing. So yes, Alan, I'm going to be preparing the corn chowder curry. This is the added ingredient to give it an extra punch. But more so, I'm going to show you how to make milk out of walnuts that will add to the soup. So I look forward to doing that.
That sounds interesting. Well, I'm sure everyone wants to stick around for those two extraordinary recipes. And Sylvia Stinson Perez is also here with us today to provide extra cooking tips if you're blind or visually impaired.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Let's see, where are we here at?
Yeah, Alan, thank you. And today we have a great, really interesting guest. Her name is Savan Ven. She comes all the way from Cambodia. Welcome, Savan. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm doing great. How about y'all?
Good. We're doing wonderful. I understand you came here from Cambodia when you're only 7 years old. I want you to tell me a little bit about yourself, about your vision, how you lost your sight, and also about your important organization.
Okay, well, as you said before, I came in 1999 at the age of 7, landed in Oregon, due to for refugee asylum just because of the war. Now here presently, I am a mother of 3 daughters, 12 grandchildren. Also the president of the Vision Impaired Blind Society. We've been around for about 7 years now. I lost my vision about 10 years ago due to diabetic retinopathy. And VIGS is a nonprofit located in Atlanta, Georgia. One of our vice presidents here, Tony Asbury. Hey sis. Thanks to them and their hard work and dedication. Our mission is to pretty much to help promote independence, productivity, help with financial resources as well as educational, so that those who are blind, vision impaired, and lost their vision can live a more fulfilling life, semblance to a normal life before vision loss. We believe that mental health is a very important aspect, because when you lose your vision, especially like myself, who lost my vision 10 years ago at the age of 41, you're so used to seeing and doing things and everything. All of a sudden now, you can't do it anymore. You can't drive, you can't do it, you're dependent on people. So, we promote independence. And so the best way that we figured is to help with just social events and activities, to bring them outside of the house, because when you stay in the house, all you're looking at is, you can't see anything. So you pretty much just stuck behind the house. And a lot of people do believe that they are stuck behind the house, but we're here to tell them that no, you can still do things. We travel, we have big fundraising events, we do social events like parties and things like that. Just get together to bring them outside the house. So that way it helps with the mental aspect of their well-being, as well as the physical. So you want to get out and do things and just be a part of the community. And that's what we strive to do.
Wow, it sounds like a lot of fun. That's for sure, because it would be scary to travel when you're visually impaired or blind, but when you have all the support around you, I mean, the sky's the limit, and that's so important. And it's
Yes,
such
it
a
is.
good organization that you started. Did you tell us a little bit about your blindness? How did that happen?
Yes, the diabetic retinopathy. And, you know, slowly, my right eye first happened to my right eye where I lost my retina detached. They couldn't save that one, so they tried to save my left eye. I had about total three surgeries, and then that's where I am now. I'm totally blind after the third surgery, and I went in for the fourth surgery, and still they couldn't figure out why I'm blind. My retinas are actually still attached, so they don't understand why I'm not seeing.
Wow. Yeah, that it would be unusual. Maybe you'll get a miracle, you know? We believe in
Never
miracles.
know, you know. You can always say, right?
Well, how's your diabetes doing? You have that under control?
Yes, it's under control, and I just had actually I was on alcohol and dialysis for about 6.5 years. And I was blessed to get my kidney transplant about 4 years ago. So you know, it's hard with having the kidney transplant with the medication and everything else. You know, your sugar spikes and things like that because of the medication and things like that. So it was a battle. It's still a battle to, you know, keep the
Right.
sugar under control.
Right, right. You have a really good attitude about it, Saban. So
Thank you.
so happy to have you here. I'm so excited because you're going to do your Cambodian egg rolls, right?
Yeah,
You want to
yeah.
tell us why that's one of your favorites?
Spring rolls.
Oh, the spring rolls, that right? Spring rolls?
Spring rolls, yeah. It's just a difference between the chef, really.
Fantastic. Well, how did you come about choosing this recipe? Is it one of your favorites?
Yeah, it's one of my favorites and one of my popular. So,
Yeah, it's popular, so it becomes your favorite, right? So
yeah,
let's go ahead and get started on that recipe today. Look forward to it.
all
You
right.
could describe, I lost the picture totally on my phone, but I'm listening carefully as most of our audience is listening because they're blind or visually impaired. Not everybody, but most of our people watching are blind or visually impaired.
I'm gonna be just descriptive, just like.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, appreciate that to do a descriptive.
So I had just finished cooking, cutting up the little cabbage and the carrots and the chopped up onions, and you can see the little shredded cabbage here. I'm not sure you can see it right here. And I threw it all in a bowl. And I'm gonna add the vermicelli. These are the mushrooms that I had soaked and it's ready to go. So I'm throwing that into the bowl along with the cabbage, onion. And I'm using ground chicken today, a pound, because I'm only making 25 egg rolls. You can do 2, but you'll just have thicker egg rolls or spring rolls that you want. These are the vermicelli noodles. I soaked, they're nice and soft now. And I did cut them so it won't be long and too stringy. So I'll throw all that in there. Now I got my sauce, the marinade that actually seasons the filling. So basically, I put 2 teaspoons of fish sauce, taking salt, like maybe a teaspoon of sugar. You know, everything is based on your choice. I do everything by ear, so I'm just kind of like getting to where people can kind of just estimate, but everything is based upon your preference and your taste. If you like a
I
salt,
agree. That's a good point. Exactly. It's an art and it's a thing, sure.
so add less or more depending on your taste. And and then I just put a little bit of black pepper, garlic powder. So then I'm just gonna take my hands here and marinate it really well. And you want all the seasonings, you know, just go for it, dig in. Like meatloaf, pretty much. You know, you have marinate meatloaf and some of that. So it's basically that. And you do it till you feel like everything is saturated in the marinade. And then when you
Lee, this is Sylvia. I have a quick question. You know, well, one question is, are the vermicelli pre-cooked, or you said you soaked it? And then my other question is, what proportion of veggies to meat to the vermicelli pasta do you use? Is it like a third, or what is it?
So basically, I would say, okay, so I use 1 pound. So I do about 3, because the vermicelli noodles come in little rolls, like it comes in a packet. I use about 3 of those rolls, more because I'm making more, but said I'm only making 1 pound, I use 3. And you soak it in warm water till it gets soft, and you just cut it up. The black mushrooms that I showed you guys, it comes in a bag pre-made. So I would say about 1 small bag of it. I use a big one, like I said, if I make more. So it just depends. And it comes in big bags and small bags. You know, if you just make it 25, and it's like I said, depending on your taste, how much you want in there and stuff. But I would say, yeah, about 1/3. If you're pretty much on target, 1/3. And then cabbage, if I'm using a whole head of cabbage, I use half of the cabbage. And then like maybe two large carrots shredded, and you could use the cheese grater and use the big, the big one, so the big grater. So it won't be so tiny. And this is a tip of mine. If you're not good with knives, the best thing to do is because you have to cut these, you have to cut your cabbage really thin. And your onions, you have to chop it up, and your carrots as well. But so sometimes when I'm in a hurry and I don't really want to spend time, cutting out cabbage and carrots and stuff like that, the shortcut is if you go to the store and buy you the coleslaw mix, that one that has carrots already in it, you just get a couple bags of that for 25, or if you're making 25. You add more if you're making more, but that's the shortcut for the cabbage and the carrots. The onions, the onions, I do have some that's already cut up for you, but I like to use fresh ones because for me, when you cut up, the onions already, you buy it kind of gets soggy, and I don't like it. So I cut my onions myself, but that's a shortcut tip if you don't want to sit there and cut your cabbage and do all the extra. So just buy you a couple bags of that coleslaw mix already, carrots in it, and you can use the one that has purple cabbage mixed in with the white cabbage, or you just want to use the regular one, that's fine. I got it all mixed in. I'm about to roll you a couple. Then I'm going to put it in the grease that's been preheating. And you have to make sure this grease is hot. Just like when you fry chicken, to get that nice crispy, sizzle. And it cooks it fast.
Here's a thermometer, Steven. Do you have a thermometer, a talking thermometer to let you know the temperature that you need?
I don't use a thermometer. I don't.
How do you know it's hot enough?
Sometimes like I put my hand over the pot to make sure it's, you can feel the heat. But sometimes what I do is I take the egg roll and I stick it into the, the grease, and if you hear sizzling, it's done.
Good point.
I mean, that the heat is nice and hot.
Right.
Yeah.
Good tip. Right.
Yeah, and then also, guys, the tip to cooking the egg rolls is, depending how thick your egg rolls are or spring rolls, usually take about 5 to 8, depending on, like I said, how hot your grease is, how big your egg rolls are, and how golden brown you want the shells to be, right? All that plays into the factor of how long you cook. So the longer you cook it, the more golden brown it is.
Okay, how far I'll go?
The secret to knowing when the egg rolls are cooked, when you
Please
first
sign
put it in
into
the
the
heat,
YouTube
it
app
will
with the
sink
same account as the one linked to the Google Assistant.
into the grease. The egg rolls will sink. So it'll go down to the bottom. But as soon as it gets done, it'll start to float up. Right? So then you just leave it in there, depending on how long you want your egg rolls. How brown or golden you want your egg rolls to be. Right? But as soon as it starts,
Yes, I love that.
yeah, as soon as it
How
starts,
do you tell that they're floating since you can't see? And like, I can't see anything to know, like I couldn't see if something was floating. How do you tell that?
so when you put it in, it'll sink, right? You know that it's sinking down. But give it about 4 or 5 minutes after you do it. When you think that it's about ready, you go there and you can take your tongs or your fork. You start feeling it's floating. It's not touching the bottom.
And what temperature are you? Is this on high, medium, low?
Yeah, so I preheat it on medium heat for a good, 10 minutes, right? To get that nice hot grease going. Or you can put it on high. What I do is I put it on high as well. And that way it heats it up faster, but then I turn it down to like a number 6 for medium, so I use a gas stove.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I leave it on medium while I'm frying, because right now the grease is like super hot, right? And I just want to show everybody, the egg roll shell that I use is this one here. Everybody see it?
No, what, you have to say what it is to me.
So it's the egg roll shell, it's square. The brand is White Chin. You can get this at Asian farmers market, any, and you know, Asian and freezer. In a frozen part, right? So it's square. What I'm gonna do, I already opened it. I have to peel these shells, so you have to, because it sticks together in a 25 pack. So I'm about to peel one and it rolls. So this is the shell, it's square. So you're gonna put it on your plate and each point, because it's a square, you have to go, you put it to where like one point is facing north. So it's gonna be north, east, south and west, right? So each point, just like you're looking at the thingy there. So each point is like one point going north, one south. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take, I had a spoon, I don't know what I do. So I'm gonna do like a spoonful of the filling. Take your spoon and just take up a spoonful of that filling. Not too much, just enough. Just like a spoonful, like I said. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna put it right where the bottom tip is, like just one that's towards you. And just kind of like, you know, put it right there to the tip, and you take the pointed tip and then you fold it over your meat, your filling, and you just start rolling.
So it's like a diagonal. You have it like a diagonal.
Yes, more
Okay.
like a diamond, almost like where the points
Yeah.
are all facing.
Right.
Yes. Okay, so then you roll, and then you get to the center where the other 2 points are, you fold those 2 points in. Hold it in, and then you hold it, and then you fold it, so you just keep rolling. And then when you get to the end, you're gonna take your finger, dip it into the egg wash. The scrambled egg is 1 egg. And all you do is just pretty much just scramble the eggs and just leave it in, because that's what seals the egg rolls, and it seals it better than water. You can use water if you don't have eggs. And you just roll it until you know, and then do it like that, roll it. And then it's gonna look like a little burrito.
Cindy, this is Alan. I have a quick question.
Show it, I don't know
about
if
the
anybody
egg
who
wash.
can see it. So you see it? Like a little burrito, right? Pick this one, since I roll this one, I put it in the grate. You hear it sizzling? That's how you know it's ready to go. Sizzling now. And then once that's done, I'll take it out. So it should be, it sizzles nice and hot. It shouldn't take me that long at all. For that
Do
egg
you
roll.
need, David, do you need any kind of special pan for this? Or
Yes,
any
I don't-
kind of,
You know, you can use your, so what I have noticed is these, you can use it in an air fryer if you want to do it that way where it's less grease. But I use it in a pot or a deep skip, right? You want to make sure there's enough grease, so when you drop it in there, it sinks to the bottom, covers the egg.
okay.
That's
But
how
you can
you,
use
that's
it
why,
in the fryer. So that's a good alternative.
yeah, you can use it in an air fry. What you want to do is, because you know, chicken, pork, you know, they all have their own grease, you know, their own fat. So, but most people, what they do is you can do it in the oven as well, but you want to rub like olive oil, a little olive oil on it.
Mhm.
That way, you know, just get a little bit of that, you know, that little oil just to make it fry better.
Is
Right.
that after the egg wash? That's after the egg wash?
Yeah, after you finish it.
Yeah.
When you're about to cook it, when you put a little, rub the olive oil, just lightly around, you know, the egg roll. So I just made another one, so, and trust me, when you first do it, it's gonna come out different sizes and everything. You know, but it'll be all right.
Because practice makes perfect with that, right?
Yeah, practice makes perfect, you know, so I'm just making, and also if you want to make it, and if let's say you don't cook the whole thing right now, what you can do, you can freeze it in like a Ziploc freezer bag. I usually do about 5 in each bag, that way it'd be a snack. You know, when I want a little bit, I can just, you know, as a snack. So right now it's not floating yet, so it's still cooking. I just checked it. And I also have some, I have some paper towels on it, so it kind of absorbs the grease when you take it out.
Oh, good.
If you cook it in the oven, Sabine, how long does it take?
So, from what now, sorry?
If you were to cook it in the oven and bake it, like how long would that take?
Well, with the oven, I believe it's gonna take a little longer. I would say, depending on your oven, you know, because everybody's oven temperature is different, I would.
Yeah.
400 or like at least 15, and you can tell by the color, the golden brown. And some
Or
people,
does it, so if you can't see the golden brown, if you touch it, is it gonna feel like more crispy kind of?
yeah,
versus-
yeah. But I would do at least 15 to 30 minutes, depending on where you're at, your oven temperature and all that. But the best thing to do is you can find it like, a deep fryer, what people have for their fried chicken and stuff. All right, I think this egg roll is done. As it is nice and fun, gonna do it.
So Stephen, if you use them as a snack later, of course, you put them in the baggie and freeze them after they've been cooked, right? Not after
No.
you.
No, you freeze it before.
Oh, before you fry, and then you have to refry your
Yeah,
snack.
then you just have to fry it, and I would like take it out. You want to fry it, that's why you have to be careful when you fry it, when they're still frozen. You know what I'm saying? But that's when you want to do it, because if you don't, it's gonna get soggy and the shells will tear.
Oh,
So when you find it, put time, and then you take it out, fry it a little bit so that way, you know, at least won't stick together to the grill. And then once you do it, you deep fry it while the grease, like it was still kind of frozen. So, but it won't pop like you think. All right, so
Okay.
it's done. This one is done, and it's nice and crispy, I can tell. I don't know if you can see it right here. For those who can't see, so you hear the crispy shell? That's how it's done. So this one is done. And I just turn off my grease because I'm gonna roll these and keep it for later. But I do wanna cut one up so you can see how it looks on the inside. Here. At this one, nice and hot, so be careful. The best time to eat it when it's nice and hot, you know, very nice and crispy. Okay. And here from that, it's nice cooked on the inside. You can feel the noodles, you know what I'm saying? So I have to taste it because I did not taste my mayonnaise, y'all. I know it's salty or not. All right, perfect. I've done it so long, it's kind of, what you call it, second nature. So that's it, guys. That's how you make egg rolls.
Sabine, I have just a couple of quick questions. Maybe I
Sure.
missed a couple of things there. That egg wash you were talking about, do you use that any place other than to seal the outside of the egg roll, spring roll?
You said one other egg?
The egg wash.
Yeah, what about it?
Do you use that any place other than to seal the end of the egg roll?
No, that's it. That's the only purpose that it has.
Okay, and that's simply just an egg and you beat it all up with the yolk and the white together?
Yeah, just one egg.
My second question, because I may have missed something here. You pre-cook the chicken before you put it in the egg roll?
No, I don't. You can marinate, like once you marinate it, if you want to pre-cook it, just start like what I do. If I pre-cook it, I throw in my protein, then throw out the vegetables and then use the seasoning. And then that way you can cook it, you can taste the feed, you need to add more seasoning. That's the best way to do it if you're not,
But the
like,
amount
if
of
you're
time,
starting out. Yeah, if you're starting out, you might,
the amount of time it takes to cook in the oil is enough time to thoroughly cook the chicken, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like I said, it's that, you see how fast that one took, it only took like a few minutes, right? Because it's.
Yeah.
The grease is really hot.
I don't see well enough to see, but I'm guessing that the egg to the, spring rolls are approximately an inch and a quarter, maybe an inch and a half in diameter.
Love you.
Mm-hmm. Not that big at all. Like you can make it big or small, depending. Some people make it like this, like little baby ones that are like the size and length of your pinky and about the same size. This one is more like if you like I said, about an inch in diameter and about 3 inches long.
I'm going to guess the smaller the diameter, the faster they cook and the
Yes.
quicker they rise to the top, right?
Yep. That's true. That is so true.
I had a question at the very beginning and I missed it. Tell me
Uh-huh.
the difference between a spring roll and an egg roll.
Okay, so sometimes you get these thin shells like I'm using now, and when you fry it up, it gets crispy. And the egg rolls are more the chewier ones that you get from like when you go to like a Chinese restaurant.
Okay. Spring rolls are crispier. Thank you. I will make sure I order spring rolls next time. I like the crispy.
Yes.
Love you,
I-
Brownie. You're my little
Thank you,
girl.
thank you, yes, it is delicious, y'all, so try it out, let me know what y'all think. And like I said, seasonings are based upon your preference, so add more or less to your liking.
Thank you, Saban. That was a beautiful presentation, very clear, articulate, and very excited. I mean, you're very excited about this recipe. Thank you so much for sharing it. Anything else, anything we have?
Thank you, thank you. I think that's it for me.
Thanks again. I hope
You're
you come
welcome.
back. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much. Christine. Well, Annette, now it's your turn. And it sounds like you have a real full treat for us.
Well, first of all, can you see my baby here that I'm holding, baby Gracie?
Well, I can't, but I believe our on-site audience. can.
Yeah, it's black and white, I shouldn't say puppy. I'm just sharing her with you because she's on her last leg. She's 16. Yeah, and it'll be the last time she's joining us. She's not a guide dog, but she gives you so
Love
much
you.
love. And she had an epileptic episode last night. And we're having a lot of things going on in this house lately. The new grandbaby, my 2 dogs are sick. So I'm gonna say goodbye to her and I'll start cooking for you. Hold on. Okay.
And
All
a
right.
new granddaughter too.
Yeah, she's upstairs now with my sister. Thankfully, my sister came by to watch her.
Love you.
I think she's starting to tease a little bit. She's been very cranky. And also, I have to admit, the recipe that I'm making for you, I made for her mom for lunch yesterday. And I think I added a little too much curry. As Saban was saying, you have to put the curry, spices in according to your taste. And I learned a big lesson just not to put too much for my taste. But I think it affected my daughter-in-law's breast milk. So we had a little issue with that, but I think she's feeling better now. But I'm excited to tell you about my recipe. It is corn chowder, the curry corn chowder. And it's so easy to make and it's so comforting and delicious. But first of all, to put in that recipe, I'm going to make some plant milk. How many times have you gone to your fridge and maybe you've been out of milk, regular traditional milk, or you don't have any almond milk, or you don't have any coconut milk, and you have some almonds in your fridge, or you have some walnuts in your fridge? You can actually make a milk out of it. I'm going to show you how to do that first, and then I'll proceed to the recipe. This is just a container that I have that fits a cheesecloth. I don't know if anybody's ever used a cheesecloth. It's just a very sheer mesh that I put around this container to grab the walnuts after I grind them. But this has to fit nicely. Usually I don't even have to use a container. You could just hold it up. Now it's not fitting. And if you don't have a cheesecloth, which I got on Amazon, pretty easy. You could use a stocking. Does anybody wear stockings anymore? But you could use no, not really, right? Yeah, really. Or you robbed the bank before, I don't know. So what I have here is a cup of walnuts, and these have been soaking overnight. And the reason you soak your nuts. I don't want to make a joke here, but you have to soak your nuts so the protein in the nuts is more digestible to your body. It's better. You don't have to, but I like to do it. They're cleaner and they're ready to go. So what I'm doing is I'm putting a cup of walnuts into the Vitamix. For every cup you want to add, every cup of nuts, you're going to add approximately 2 to 3 cups of water. So I'm pouring in 1.
You
So?
have 1 cup container that's full of 1 cup when it's level full.
What do you?
Ask you a question because that's how I do it. I know exactly.
Oh, you mean to put the 1 cup of water?
Right, I got a 1 cup and I got a 2 cup. When it's level full, it goes over the top. I know it's exactly right.
Oh, okay, yeah, or you could, put your finger there and feel it. I can luckily, this is a perfect 1 cup. I don't like those measuring cups that have 2 cups and all these fancy things. This is strictly 1 cup and I can actually see with this one. And I'm gonna put about 2 3/4. I like my milk a little bit more, a little thicker. And then you can add to this, it's totally optional. You can add a dash of salt, because when you buy milk in the store, the plant milk, they do have salt in them. But I don't put salt, I don't put a sweetener, I don't put anything, but you could do whatever you want. One time I put some dates in there that I had soaked in hot water to make them soft. And then I put about 4 dates in the walnut milk, so it became a little sweet. So if you excuse me for a moment, I have to go over to the side and run this because we have all our electronics in the closet, like a garage for electronics. So they're hidden. So I'll be right back, Alan. So fill in the space for
I
me.
will do my very best. That really sounds great. I wonder if you couldn't put a little bit of fruit or something in there. I kind of like cherries and blueberries. And
Okay.
you could put that in there too.
You can put whatever you want in there. Hold on, I'm going to turn on the Vitamix. Might be a little noisy, so I apologize.
Do you have a little saying that you go through that gives you the right amount of time? I don't know. I have a Nutrable. In fact, I just bought one recently. I wonder if that's very similar to what you have. But
Hey,
yeah,
I'm back.
I used to eat milk. I found out it doesn't mix real well with Jello pudding. And I went back to using regular cow's milk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I won't hold it against you. I won't hold it against you, Helen.
I kind of like Jello pudding, especially the chocolate stuff and the pudding too.
Great for that.
What, Sylvia? Excuse me?
He's talking about making pudding, and I'm telling him that coconut milk works great for pudding.
Okay, so okay, so I mixed this for about less than a minute. I don't know whoever can see, it's very white right now. And I have my container with my cheesecloth in it. And I'm going to pour the walnut mixture, it's all liquidy, through a cheesecloth to avoid any grittiness from the walnuts. Another important thing is make sure your hands are very, 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 very clean when you start to squeeze this walnut milk. It's kind of like milking a cow. I have never milked a cow, but that's what it feels like. Now, I don't have a proper container today to pour it in, so I want to do it over a larger surface. So I took a bowl. I'm going to remove the cheesecloth, and I'm going to squeeze the mixture. You're going to squeeze it to go through the cheesecloth into the bowl. If you guys can see, it's fun. This is a great thing to do with kids, with children. I can't wait till my granddaughter gets bigger. We could play in the kitchen. But I'm squeezing it. You can probably hear it dripping into the bowl. Make sure I get all that liquid out. And this is what we're going to use in our recipe to thicken. And within a couple days, if you leave it in a jar, let's say, it's going to thicken up. So it's okay to add like 3 cups of water to 1 cup of walnuts. still have some more in the container, so I'm gonna pour the rest of the mixture into a cheesecloth again. And I'm gonna squeeze it again. I bet you wish you could do this. It's so much fun. I want to milk a cow now.
Well, back on the farm in Minnesota, I milked many cows, even though we
Really?
had their neighbors had cows. When the electric
Oh.
went, and had to do it by hand, I went to help.
You did that a lot then. You have experience.
Too much.
Too much? Okay. Well, I won't invite you over.
There's
Yes,
a question in the chat.
Sure.
About replacing milk with, coconut now. And I regularly use coconut milk and I know Alan just mentioned almond milk. The thing is, they are not as thick. And so, Annette, can you talk about maybe how you can, when you're making a recipe that normally calls for, cow's milk, how you can ensure that it's thick enough, or what do you do to, to make it work?
Well, I'm not really worried about it. It always seems to work. It seems to work great. Any of the milks that you make with nuts fresh, like I'm doing now, they always thicken up after a day or so. So you just kind of test it with your recipe, because I didn't put that much last time I made the corn chowder. And then, but the next day, the soup was very thick. So I added some more. So you kind of have to judge it by stirring it. If you can't see, I stir it with a spoon. I could tell by putting the spoon in the pan that it's thick. And then I just add more. I don't have an exact formula for how that will be done, but you just kind of judge it according to personal preference. But I don't know if that's helpful. But anyway, I have a funnel here and I put it in this jar and I'm going to pour the walnut milk. Now that it has been strained and it's so nice and pure and it's even nice and white. Whoever can see that, it's white. And you don't need a big container. I don't make a lot at once. This makes about 4 to 5 servings of 8 ounces. So it's not too bad. So here we have our milk ready to go for our recipe. Who's excited for our corn chowder? You have to like corn and you have to like curry for that. All right, so I'm going to get started over here with the corn chowder. It's so quick and so easy. First, what we're going to do is put I'd say about 3 heaping tablespoons of onions in a pan. I don't use that big a pan because this is a serving for just 2 people.
And you've already pre-chopped those onions, right?
I did pre-chop, but I didn't have to be perfect on. I'm glad you asked that question, because what I'm going to do is saute these a little until they're translucent. And then I'm going to put it in my little magic bullet and kind of liquefy it as well to go into the recipe. I'll explain in a minute, because we're going to take some liquid corn. We're going to liquefy a little bit of corn, and then we're also going to add full kernels. So I'm going to turn my burner on. This isn't the easiest stove to know, but it's not bad because I've learned where the high and low, and they make the burners have 2 levels. They have a smaller level. It was difficult at first, but
Knowing
anyway.
your kitchen is important.
Yeah, exactly. Knowing your kitchen. To saute these, you can use olive oil or avocado oil. What I do is I put a little bit of avocado oil because avocado oil has a high heat resistance. It doesn't destroy the molecules. It's good for you. Put a little bit of that, but if you're someone that doesn't, it's probably about a tablespoon. If you're someone that doesn't like to use oil, I know there's people out there that are sugar-free, oil-free, and salt-free. That's not me. I use a little bit. So I put a little bit of oil and I saute it, but if you feel like it's not enough, add a little bit of the plant milk in here, or water. You can add a little bit of water. Hold on, I messed up. I'm going to clean up this spot here. I like to clean as I go because it makes it so much easier.
It's important to clean as you go and put things away as you go, right, Annette? Because
Well, yeah,
then you don't get confused or have a mess, yeah.
exactly. Well, I'm always confused. I'm blonde. What do you want? Okay. This mixture is onion and garlic, and then I'll add a big mixing spoonful, 2 big mixing spoonful of corn. I don't really measure it out. You could add more, you could add less. And just softening this up a little before we add it to the magic fluid. It's gonna saute for about, 5 minutes or so.
Is that frozen corn in there?
Okay, that's another good point. Thank you for reminding me. You can use a whole bag of frozen corn. I think there's about, the last one I bought had about 13 ounces in it. This one, today I'm using actually canned corn, organic canned corn that I get at Target. I love this. It's so easy. Corn doesn't have to cook much at all. So to this mixture, as they're sauteing, let's add our spices on here. More spice. We got the onion, we got the garlic, we got the corn. And now I had told you 3 teaspoons of curry. But since that, I apologize, I changed that to 2 teaspoons. Yay! I think I got sick on the curry. I don't know if I got sick on the curry or what, but I'm just gonna have 2 teaspoons of curry. It's a little.
Add more curry.
Oh, of course you can add. Yeah, of course you can add some pepper too for 2. Add that later on, and you can even add this curry later on. You don't have to add the curry while they're sauteing.
I have always found that it's easier to add a little onion than to try to take a little out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that's a great point. You're so right. You're so right. And now instead of salt, I'm using the cocoa. I'm going to take this off the burner for a second. Liquid aminos. They just have more nutrients. It's like a soy sauce. And it's called Bragg's is the brand. And I add about 3 tablespoons of this to the mixture. What? I had my tablespoon upside down. So when I tried to fill it, it really didn't fill. It went. Okay, that's one of the things when you're visually impaired. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. Of course, it's like the Savin says, it's to taste. You could add less or you can add more. Now, where'd my walnut milk go? Here it is. I'm going to add some walnut milk now, about a cup. I already had some in here. Let's add about a cup there. So we could put this in and I can do it and it won't get all. We need some liquid to make it work. Okay, so I'm stirring it up. Put a couple more seconds on here. Make sure the onions and the garlic are cooked up a little bit. So I know you might be saying, well, I guess it's a good dish for fall. Are we in fall yet? When does fall start?
The next week. Next week.
Okay, so this is a good fall dish. It's got the correct colors. Just want to wipe up as I go here. Got a little bit of curry on the stove. Okay, yeah, it's exciting.
I always thought cornbread was sort of an all year round thing.
I'm not making cornbread. I'm making corn chowder.
Corn chowder, I'm sorry, yes, corn chowder. I always thought corn chowder was kind of an all year round thing. Anytime
you know-
it's cold outside.
Yeah, I think it could be. I eat soup in the summer. Of course, our AC is down to like what, 76 every time.
Oh,
So
it's cold inside, okay.
exactly. Some people say, well, you can't eat soup. You shouldn't eat soup in the summer. I'm going to eat whatever I want to eat. I'm not worried about it. Okay, so now that it's sauteed, it's just part of it. And that's it. And then you pour it in to the magic bullet container. Oh, this one. You know
And
what?
if you
This
were,
one.
if you're making a bigger portion, you could use a blender or an immersion blender.
Exactly. This is a small portion. In fact, this container is a little bit small. Let me use I would use the Vitamix, but like I said, my Vitamix is in the garage, not my house garage, we call it a garage. A closet where I don't have to display all my appliances on the counter. They're all electrically hooked up inside the closet. Okay, so I'm adding all the sauteed onions, garlic, and 2 big spoonfuls of corn in the NutriBullet. Then I'm going to put on the bottom part of the blade. You can see that. Some people see that. It's like a light yellow. Put it on the NutriBullet. Use the noise code.
Go for it. Yeah.
So I'd say that's about 30 seconds or so. I love this NutriBullet for smaller recipes, but of course, like Sylvia said, you have a bigger portion, you're going to double, quadruple everything. So I'm pouring it back into the pan. Okay, back into the pan. Then I'm going to add the rest of the corn. This is hearty. You can serve this. We'll show you with chips or crusty bread. Put it back on the burner, and we have to add. Now I could feel that this is pretty thick. And you noticed earlier, I only added about half a cup of liquid. So now I'm going to add another cup, 3/4 of a cup, more liquid to it.
Is that your walnut milk?
That's the walnut milk that I made, yes.
Okay.
And of course, you could use any milk. I'm a big, I'm vegan like 95% of the time. And if I run out of something, if I have nuts in the fridge, I'll make some milk with it. So I'm going to add some pepper.
And an important thing to kind of mention, and that maybe you could even talk about, is that different milks give it a different taste. Like I'm a big coconut milk person.
I
And
know
there's
it.
definitely a different flavor from coconut milk to almond milk to, I actually am not even sure I've had walnut milk. So.
Oh, you missed something. And also Brazil nut milk is delicious. It's very soft. It has a lot of selenium in it. Okay, I'm going to taste this. And like you said, coconut milk would actually go good with this because curry coconut.
Coconut,
So,
yeah.
so I'm going to taste a little bit of this. I'm a big taster. Some people don't taste your food. I have to.
Oh,